Our final award recognizes the Southwest PGA Golf Professional of the Year. And it's the highest honor that can be bestowed upon a PGA golf professional. And while it says of the year, it's really come to represent the hard work and dedication and the inspiration, quite frankly, that a golf professional provides not only to his fellow golf professionals, but to the section in which he or she is involved. And I could stand up here all night and rattle on about the things that Greg Avant has accomplished and given to golf, particularly here in the Valley, throughout his career. But instead, let's join me in turning our eyes to the video and learn a little bit more about our Golf Professional of the Year this year.
He's just a fun guy to be around and to work for.
Nobody's a better PGA professional than Greg.
We're lifelong members. We wouldn't want to be anyplace else.
Just a good-hearted guy, somebody who really loves sports, a guy that does things the right way.
Absolutely amazing how he juggles his time, not only professionally, but personally.
I could tell he had a lot of passion for his course, a lot of passion for the game.
I just knew that he wanted to be in the golf business and he would be successful.
Growing up in Minnesota, the great thing is having all the seasons and everything. And I had an older brother, which was awesome, so we played pretty much every sport together. And my brother was always better than me at everything, so that was kind of my motivation, which was cool. But really got started in just a junior league playing golf with my brother in Minnesota in the summer times. At ASU, I was on the #1 ranked team in the nation at that time with Billy Mayfair, Tom Stankowski, Greg Cesario, and Jim Strickland, all great players. And really, it was just basically too hard to crack that lineup. Jake Manahan, when he gave me my job, said you have to get in the PGA program. And I was out of school and I really hadn't decided what to do with my life.
As soon as he decided to do that, then I think he was all in for, becoming the PGA professional that he is.
I jumped into it head first, got done with the program, and the rest is history, and it's been incredible. My business partner, Tom Murphy, had told me, when you're ready to get out of the golf business, we'll do something, whatever you want to do. Because he goes, I see what you do, and we'll do something. So I called him, and I said, I got our business. We're going to buy a golf course. And he laughed, and he hung up on me. The best day of my life was when we got that done. We got in the car, and he shook my hand, and he says, we're partners, let's go do this.
I was like, great, I love it, buy it. I was teaching and doing the kids thing and everything with him too, so yeah, I was just thrilled.
I think Greg learned a ton from Tom Murphy as far as mentoring goes, and every once in a while Greg will pull me aside and say, hey, you got to hear about this, and he'll tell me a story, and he says, that's Tom Murphy mentoring right there, when actually it's Greg now mentoring someone younger and really passing along what Tom had taught him.
It's really cool to be part of the Lone Tree family, and everybody knows each other, and we're really close to one another, and it seems like nobody ever wants to leave here.
All I've tried to do is surround myself with great people. I've got almost 50 employees. I've got at least 20 of them that have been with me for 10 plus years. I've probably got 10 of them that have been with me since day one.
The great thing about working for Greg is I'm working for Greg. He says yes or no, and it's, there's no board, there's no committees.
With our implementation of the First Tee program, we grew that from having no kids at Lone Tree to having over 350 kids in the program.
He's done an excellent job of bringing all of us together. We're all working for the same goal, and he appreciates that and acknowledges that.
The way he conducts himself with the members here at the club, so professional to the nth degree, taking care of everybody. It's inspiring.
President Reagan, my favorite, had a quote on his desk, and it was, it's amazing what you can accomplish if you don't mind who gets the credit. And that says a lot about the way Greg leads.
The way that I've tried to come to work every day and make this a better place for my employees and make it a better place for every customer that comes through here and my members. That is really the culmination of the hundreds of golf professionals that have helped mold me and make me the golf professional that I am.
It's just amazing.
It is a big deal.
He's a great guy to work for. He's a great friend.
I think it means a lot for the overall operation.
Really something to behold.
It's pretty impressive. I'm proud.
Greg is a great owner, he's a great golfer, and he's a great guy as well.
I love him, like everybody. He's a great guy. We're very lucky.
Our 2017 Southwest PGA Golf Professional of the Year, Mr. Greg Avant.
Your name is a fixture in this section for many, many years, including when I was young, so congratulations on this award. A lot of fun to watch that video.
Yeah, incredible. Thank you very much. I'll just share. Jamie called me, and when he called me, being Jamie, he kind of was like, hey, you know, my job as the president is to call. I know you're up for Golf Professional of the Year. And he was really letting me down nicely. And he goes, and I just, unfortunately, I have to call the people that lost and didn't make it. And he goes, but I'm calling you because you won. So he strung me along pretty good, so I guess he was paying me back for that round, I suppose.
So you grew up in Minnesota. I learned a lot about you since you got this award. And you had hockey dreams, as we saw in the video, long before you had golf dreams. So you played both sports growing up through high school and college. What led you to ultimately go down the path of golf versus hockey?
Well, I think first and foremost, I wasn't good enough to play hockey. I think that was fairly evident quickly. My whole life I've loved all sports, and I played all sports, and I love to compete, and I think that's really ultimately I had to do something that was competition, and I always wanted to be the best at something, and I found golf, and I was always good at it. And then finally, when I decided to really push hard at it, I got better, and I kept getting better. And as I remind my son Tommy all the time, I'm still nobody. I never made it. But there's still time. There's still senior events. So, but I've always loved sports. I love playing hockey, and I just love to compete. And I fell in love with the game of golf because I think for me, it's the ultimate test of patience, skill, and just you learn so much about yourself every time you're out there.
And you're pretty damn good at it too. So after a pretty successful start to your golf career in college, where did you go? Gustavus?
Gustavus
Gustavus?
Adolphus College.
Fighting who? Fighting what?
Really original Augustes.
Nice. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
But you took a step to transfer to ASU and dared to try to walk on to the ASU golf team, and there were a lot of really good players that year. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience trying to walk on to Team ASU?
Yeah, you know, I had George Bautel was the coach at the time, and he was from Minnesota, and I had spoken with George and wrote to George, and he was going to give me an opportunity. And I came down to ASU, and I said, this is great. He was going to give me an opportunity, and I got there, and he retired. And so now I walk into Bill Mann, who in our section, everybody knows Bill Mann. He's the interim coach. He was the ASU coach before, and he says, Greg, I'm sorry, I don't really have anything here for you, but we do have a walk-on qualifier. And I said, okay, well, I guess I don't have a choice. I said, how many spots are there? And he said, there's 2. And I said, well, there's actually only 1. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm going to get one of them. So, and he laughed, and he said, well, I like the way you talk. And I played real well, and I made the golf team, and I played on that team for a year and a half. And again, as I remind Tommy, I played on that team. I didn't really play D1 golf, but I was on an incredible team. We were number 1 in the country with some great players: Billy Mayfair, Greg Cesario, Jim Strickland, who's a real good friend of mine, Tom Stankowski, and it was just an incredible experience watching and playing with the best college players in the world at that time. It was great.
Awesome. Well, following ASU, your goal was to play on the PGA Tour and go to Q School. So after playing in some mini tour events, you went back to Minnesota. I guess not quite sure what your career path was going to be.
Yeah.
What can you talk a little bit about that period and ultimately what got you into the golf business?
Yeah, I think that when I graduated college, my parents were really proud of me. I was a bartender and skating in the morning. They thought, wow, what a great education. But I wanted to try to play, and so I did that for a while. But in the meantime, I had some great people around me that said, hey, you know, that's awesome that you want to be a PGA Tour professional, but I don't know if you look at that thing every year, there's 125 guys, and there's more than, you know, 1 million guys trying to play. And so they kind of pushed me into getting a job, and I got a job with Jake Manahan at a golf course, Northern Hills, and he basically told me, he said, if you're going to work for me, you got to get into the PGA. And I said, well, I'm really not interested in that. And he said, well, then you can't work here. And I said, okay, where do I sign up? And literally that's how I got in the PGA. And I owe him a ton for making me do that, because if he doesn't make me do that, I'm certainly not sitting here. I'm doing something else, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, you spent time in the Valley early in your career, gaining some experience at golf courses down here in Phoenix, and then went to work for Pulte Homes, and then ultimately landing at Lone Tree, where you're now what we all want to do as golf professionals, own and operate our own facility. So how did all that come together? I know we saw in the video there was a phone call, but really, how did you become that owner? What do you want to do?
I was working for Pulte Homes, and which was, it's a total change for me. Now you're working for a corporation, and literally, it's Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and I had to be available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But the best thing about it is they didn't understand the golf business. You know, they were like, half of them, like, what are you doing working on a weekend? So they think I'm this unbelievable employee working on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm like, well, that's the only time you work as a PGA professional. And I just said, I watched the way they did everything, and they owned golf courses, and as soon as they were done building houses, they either sold the golf course to the members or to a corporation or whatever, and I just said, well, that's my way in. And so I kind of just worked that avenue, and I had some great relationships with some great people. And I was lucky enough at the time to be working for this incredible home building company at the height of home building in Arizona. And I played in 2 Phoenix Opens, and now you got, again, these big wigs going, hey, can you get me tickets to the Phoenix Open? I said, well, yeah, I can get whatever you want. I'm playing, you know. And so it just worked out great. And so I had this nice group of people that were execs up at Pulte, and they literally helped me walk my way all the way through into buying the golf course.
Wonderful. So with the added responsibilities of now being the owner and golf professional of the club, do you see club ownership as your end goal, or are there, aspirations in playing some more? Where do you see the end of your career going? It's a long ways down the road.
Yeah,
Just
you know what? I mean,
hypothetically,
I'm always going to try to play. My business partner was the greatest, and he passed away 3 years ago. And when I was 45 to 48, we talked about doing a lot of traveling and really giving that playing a run again. And when he died, I kind of quit golf for a little while, and I really didn't want to pursue that anymore. And it was rekindled through my son. He's a great player, and that really helped me kind of get focused back in golf. But it also made me kind of refocus on what's really important, which is my wife and my daughter and my son and all the people that are here tonight that are my family at Lone Tree. And I'm going to always compete, but I don't think I'll ever go to another tour school again. I'll try. I'm going to try really hard on Monday to get in the Tucson Senior Open, but my focus is Lone Tree every day and the people that are there, because it's a blast. And I've got incredible employees and incredible friends there, which, I mean, I'm very selfish that way. It's pretty nice that you can kind of pick your friends and your members to come play at your place. That's not a luxury that most people have. And it's really cool to be able to go there and see Bobby Pankratz hitting balls on the back of the range, who have you known when he was that tall, and now he's 8'4", I think. And Hilly, who I coached hockey with, and all these incredible people. Yes, that is my focus, and I'll always try to compete, but playing golf competitively is not my number one goal anymore.
So Tom was a mentor, a business partner, and a mentor to you. What do you think would be going through his mind today if he were here tonight watching you receive this highest honor in our section?
I'll thank Billy for not putting on there. He made me cry when Shofi asked me that question. Make no mistake, the only reason I'm sitting in this chair is because of him. Lone Tree would be somebody else. The first thing he would say is, they run out of guys to give it to, is that way? That's the first thing he would say. And then he would be very proud, and he'd say, look, that's why you're my partner. I know what you do. I know what you're going to do. And I got a long ways to go. I'm not perfect, but, listening to Mike talk about Jim Flick, about having a guy that always made everybody feel better, that was Tom too. And he always made me feel better than I was, no matter what I was doing, whether it was playing golf, working, teaching golf, whatever. And you talk about you got an extra 4 inches on your heel bottom every time you're around him. So it was pretty incredible.
He's looking down on you. Grateful for what you've done and proud of you. Speaking of being proud, you got some family here? Anyone you want to?
Yeah, my mom and dad came, and they came from Florida, and my in-laws are here. My brother-in-law, Dirk, who I knew before my wife. Dirk was an incredible hockey player, and so I knew him before, and my sister-in-law, Shelley, so all my family, my daughter and my son, my daughter Lexi, my son Tommy, and all my buddies from the course, Josh. I can't say enough about Josh. Josh is my little brother. And he's the one who makes everything go day to day. He's it. He's as big a part of Lone Tree as I am. So And Trevor came late into the party, and he's been awesome. He's an incredible superintendent. To have a guy, as I joke, come from Desert Forest to Lone Tree, you know. But I mean, we're so lucky to have him. And Jay McAllister's here. Jay was one of the first reps I met when I was a head pro at Apache Creek. And Jay's been there for some real tough times for me too, and he's an incredible friend. And not only that, but he's an incredible rep, but to me, more importantly, an incredible friend. So I've been very lucky to have, I'm lucky to have all those people here tonight, which is incredible. And I look around the room, and to be able to pick up your phone and dial Mike Malaska or Gurney or all these incredible golf professionals is, I mean, it's such an honor. And to think about all these incredible golf professionals that have honored me is incredibly humbling. But at the end of the day, there's really only one person I want to make really happy, and that's my wife, Shawn. She's seen me at my best, she's seen me at my worst, and she always supports everything I do. And she's the first one to kick me in the rear when I need it. And you know, I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for her also. So you put all those pieces of the puzzle together, it's pretty incredible. But to be able to go to Lone Tree every day and literally, it's not a job. You hang out, you get to see your friends, you get to play golf, you get to teach golf. It's literally a dream come true. So I'm very fortunate.
Well, Greg, you are a legend, and one of my greatest honors as president is to sit here and have moments with the Golf Professional of the Year. So congratulations on the highest honor. I hope you enjoyed your evening, and look forward to more to come from you in our section over the years.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.